Hello and welcome to the Mentally Stronger podcast. Today, I'm going to talk about the idea of an attention diet. So, these days, it's been said that our attention is under siege. I mean, I don't know about you, but it certainly feels that way to me. There are a few ways in which our attention is under siege. First of all, that it's just being pulled at every day by a massive amount of different modalities, different stuff to pay attention to. And the more stuff there is to pay attention to, the more information is coming our way, the more difficult it is for us to choose where we want to place our attention, right? It's like we can get our attention really scattered. Not only that, but these days, it's also really easy to find your attention being pulled into consuming what I would call mental junk food, whether it's scrolling through Instagram on your phone, surfing the web and just kind of clicking on random things, flipping magazine pages, or simply just being buffeted by a multitude of marketing messages. You know, a lot of this is mental junk food. It's not nourishing for us. It's not uplifting for us. It's not helpful for us. So, in the same way that junk food can cause a lot of harm to our bodies, the huge growth of this kind of mental junk food in the past decades has been really, really bad for our mental well being. So, if you care to experiment with this idea of taking an attention diet, here's how it could work. And this is a really simple form, by the way, of an idea that I originally heard of through the writer Mark Manson, who has a really, really great article about taking an attention diet. It's much more detailed than this. So I'm just going to give you a really simplified version of an attention diet that you can begin to try in your life and just see how it goes for you. So there's really just two parts of a really simplified version of the attention diet. Step one is to consume less information in general. So if you're just taking in loads and loads and loads of attention and you're, really feeling like your attention is under siege, it can be great to just consume less overall information. But of course, especially we want to focus on consuming less of the junk information. That way, you can open up a little bit more space in your life for other things to enter. Okay. And the step two is to deliberately decide to find highly nutritious, uplifting, and healthy sources of information, and then build your habits in your life around them. So, in other words, if this sounds familiar, the attention diet works very, very similarly to a nutritional diet, by cutting out a lot of unhelpful junk consumption and then, adding in nutritious sources of information, right? That way, if you do this for a period of time, this is how a diet works, a nutritional diet works. The hope is that for a little while, if you can cut out the unhelpful stuff and add in a whole bunch of helpful stuff, then you become healthier, you feel better, you feel stronger, you feel clearer, and your whole mind and body kind of adjust, recalibrate to this new way of being. And then you usually find that you no longer crave for a fix of the junk anymore because your whole system really feels how good it is to stop consuming so much of it. So the attention diet works in a similar way to the nutritional diet. And the hopes is that, by trying this new way of being, you can create kind of like an upward spiral where you don't want to go back to how you were before. And then you can keep becoming healthier and stronger from there. So if you are interested in giving this a try, here's the kind of stuff that you might want to think of or consider as sources of potential junk information. Okay, any information that is kind of overly sensational and emotionally charged, Any stuff that really isn't important, helpful, or useful to you, anything that's kind of like wasting your time, and particularly look out for any sort of addictive loops where you find yourself just mindlessly scrolling, mindlessly clicking, or watching without being really present. You know, when you sometimes come home from a long day of work, you're just kind of sitting there watching the screen, but you're not really engaged, you're only half there. And definitely watch out for any time when you've ended up watching something that you didn't really deliberately choose to do. So I'm thinking of things like when you watch the end of a YouTube clip and then another one just comes on and you just end up watching it without really choosing consciously to do it. Now, that's online junk information. Offline, you want to watch out for things like, maybe gossiping, unhelpful relationships, environments, or people that don't make you feel good or don't treat you well, right? So you want to watch out for anything that's kind of draining your energy, dragging you down, making you stressed, that kind of thing. And the nutritional information that you might want to increase is information that's reliable, helpful, and relevant to you, well thought out information that uplifts you, supports your personal growth and well being, or informs you about things that you really want to know about, things that are important for you. Offline, nutritious sources of information might be good connections with other people, people who respect you and treat you well, who speak thoughtfully and kindly, people who make you feel better when you're around them. And similarly, certain environments, such as being in nature, being in supportive community groups, and that kind of thing can really be nutritious. So, if you're listening along to this and you're thinking that taking an attention diet might be something that would really benefit you and where you're at right now in your life, then I invite you to, experiment with it this week and see how it affects you. Now, there's a couple of different ways you could do this. You might want to just start small. You might change only, maybe one or two things and just see how that goes. Or you might want to make a bigger, more drastic change. You might want to try it for a day, 2 days, or a week. I will leave that part of the exploration up to you. Um, but if you do make the decision to do it, I would suggest just making a commitment, locking in a time in your diary, writing down what you're committing to, and just giving it a go. See how it affects your body, your mind, and your life. I hope this is really beneficial for you. Wishing you a wonderful week ahead. Take care and stay strong. If you found this video helpful, you can subscribe to this channel by hitting the subscribe button below. And if you know someone who you think might benefit from listening to this episode, share it with them. Sharing it could really help them feel better and improve the quality of their life. And if you'd like some more in-depth support on becoming mentally stronger, come and check out the coaching and training options that I offer on my website. Thanks for listening, take care, and stay strong.